Star Wars, give me those Star Wars. I don't know, I couldn't think of another intro. Anyways, Obi-Wan Kenobi, episode 5. So, it's worth noting that I don't check the consensus on the opinion of these before I shoot my reviews. I have noticed it seems like generally, I'm not going to say most people, but at least a particularly vocal stripe of the fandom is kind of down on this, and not just the standard hate merchants who literally don't seem to enjoy anything that isn't made by Zack Snyder. So like it's not just that, it's not just those kinds of people who claim to be fans. Like people who just seem to kind of not be that into it. Again, I don't know how much of a percentage of the fandom that is, but it's what I'm coming across. I guess if I were to make a supposition as to why, it might be because this was rumored for so long. Like we were supposedly going to get a movie like years and years ago. I think there's just been too much anticipation built up around how long this took to be made, if I'm being honest. I didn't have too many set expectations because I've been disappointed by most Star Wars things that I have taken in since, I guess, since Rogue One. But this, I'm enjoying this. I don't think it's amazing. I wouldn't put it on a pedestal, but I'm still liking this. I thought this was pretty good too. There's good tension as Vader's closing in. Like there is a real genuine sense of tension from that. We get the backstory on Reva, third sister, which is basically what I kind of suspected it was going to be. Part of me thought it might have been the youngest. The only thing that I couldn't quite connect the dots on was I did find myself wondering, like, so did they like torture her to turn to their side or like what? I just had a hard time parsing a youngling who was part of the massacres then joining the Empire. Just seemed counterintuitive, but now we have a reason. We have driven by motivation, which actually works on multiple levels, because just on its face, yes, that works as a motivation. But as far as I'm concerned, that still makes her not like a Jedi. That still makes her maybe not a proper Sith, but something closer to that, because that's not a motivation a Jedi would have. So even though she is in this ultimately to try and kill Vader, the fact that she has gone to the lengths that she has proves that she's gone down a very dark path to try and get there. She's not a good guy because she wants to take out one of the bad guys. She's a pretty bad person. And I dig it. There's layers to that, and I like that. Vader is a badass in this. And like to a degree that I think is actually in excess of what he should probably be capable of if you're going to stay completely consistent to the continuity of what we've seen him do, or the upper limits of maybe what he should be able to do. But you know what? It was so damn cool when he just stopped that ship from taking off using force powers and dragged it down. And I did like that it didn't seem effortless, which is also why I assumed the second one got away. Like, he can't do that twice in a row. That was probably really draining for him. But I don't kind of care. I really don't care that much if it's like more than he should have been able to do. It was cool. So I'm okay with it. And I actually really liked his fight with Reva. So I love that initially you can tell he's toying with her. Because as is evidenced by, well, Vader's actions in this and also the flashbacks. I'll get back to the flashbacks. But like he's very focused. When he is really focused on winning, on getting what he wants, he goes for it. He's not a patient person. But he's toying with her. He doesn't even draw his lightsaber. He's just pushing her around and getting out of the way. And she's exhausting herself. And it's because he does not consider her even the slightest threat. If he thought she was actually something for him to be concerned about, he wouldn't be doing this. He truly thinks so little of her as a threat to him That is what comes across in this. And yeah, he takes her apart. And you can tell just from the fact that he does not draw his lightsaber at the start when she comes at him. I'm like, oh no. Oh no. This is going to go real bad for her. And it did. But like in a really visually interesting way. And I also kind of like that, like, we watch Vader be a badass in a distinctly different manner from how we watched him be a badass in something like, say, Rogue One. So it's not like in contradiction to what was done in Rogue One, but it's like he's not just come in and cut everybody down. He can go about things other ways when he wants to. Yeah. And I feel like after Obi-Wan got away, part of him, like, needed to unwind. For lack of a better way to put it. Like, okay, I'm frustrated now. I'm going to take that frustration out by toying with you. And that's my read. And I think I'm entitled to that because that's actually oddly one of the strengths of Vader. The fact that that mask, you don't see the facial expression, you get to read a fair amount into what you think is exactly about what he's doing. And I kind of like that about him. I said I'd come back to the flashbacks. Bless Hayden Christensen for coming back and doing this stuff. It was kind of just cool to see him again. I will say, I feel a little bad for him because I don't know if it's fair to say that his performance and his line readings are a little, like, they're not bad, but they're a little wooden, because that's consistent with the prequel stuff. Anakin, especially prior to the events of Revenge of the Sith, was a little wooden. And I have to wonder, like, did he do it that way just because it's consistent with how the character was played before? Because, like, Hayden Christensen's not a bad actor. If you never need evidence of that, there's a movie I'm going to recommend called Shattered Glass, which he is excellent in. But, like, he's not a bad actor. He can bring more to it than this. But then I'm like, I mean, that's how Anakin was. So, like, I'm not sure how much it... Well, actually, I was going to say I don't know how much it added, except I liked the contrast. I liked flashing back to that and sort of letting that inform our understanding of how Obi-Wan understands him. I actually rather like that. So, yeah, no, it does add something. So I did enjoy that. Leia, they kind of just give Leia busy work in this, and, like, it's fine. I was worried that she was going to have to destroy the droid. I'm glad she didn't. I think she's been through enough. I don't think I needed to see her tearfully smash her little droid friend. So I was afraid that might happen. It didn't. Thank goodness. But yeah, I like the tension, the loss we get. I cannot remember her name now. Was it Tala? The Imperial officer. I'm not gonna say, like, I was, like, seriously moved when she died, but, like, that was a decent exit. I actually really liked the use of the droid that couldn't speak, and just how it was just standing there blasting them, and at one point just slams a trooper up into the ceiling. I'm like, oh, I know that thing's gonna die, but, like, it's cool for this brief scene. It's pretty cool. And the Grand Inquisitor turning out to not be dead, I mean, I don't care, because, like, I haven't followed the extra media in which that particular character appears, so, like, ultimately I don't care. But at the same time, like, it does make sense. If Vader kind of suspected from the get-go, allowing the sacrifice of the Grand Inquisitor seems like a really big price to pay for him to allow her to just kind of run roughshod until he felt like dealing with her. So it does kind of make a little bit more sense from any kind of strategic, how much did he know in advance sort of thing. So I don't really care that the Grand Inquisitor's still alive, but makes sense. I'm really curious as to where we go from here, because, like, Leia's rescued, they escaped, Tracker's done. They seem to be implying that Reva's going to go after Luke. And that, I think, could be a really interesting showdown. Because like I said, even though she wanted to kill one of the bad guys, she's not good. She is not a good person at all. And so sort of dealing with the fact that the way Vader laid it out for her and how she probably feels that Obi-Wan manipulated her and left her to die so that he could escape. Yeah, that could be a really interesting confrontation to end it on if that's where they're going. Yeah, I do like this. Again, I don't think it's amazing. If you're a continuity hound, I'm sure there's all kinds of stuff that's like off about it. Like I can even pick out a few continuity things. Like at this point, like she being Leia has spent so much time with Obi-Wan. The fact that her message to him, help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope, only mentions his relationship with her father and not that she ever encountered him. Like that doesn't make a lot of sense now, but like it's whatever. I don't get hung up on that kind of thing if I think the story that you're telling is worth, taking in. And I still like this. Obi-Wan, Part 5. What'd you think of it? Whatever your thoughts are, drop something down in the comments. Let's talk about it. Patreon is what pays the bills, allows me to do this as my living. Any support you can give is of great assistance. Even if you can't, other stuff you can check out down below. I meant to say this on the Ms. Marvel video. I am not going to have the review for the next one up next week because I will be on vacation. So both Ms. Marvel and this are going to be going up late. In the case of Ms. Marvel, I might just double up reviews of episodes 3 and 4 in one go. Whereas this, I'll pick up on it once I'm back. There will still be stuff going up here in the break room, but it's stuff that I've recorded in advance, like commissioned reviews and some other things. But in any case, thanks so much for watching, and don't worry too much about the links and all those stuff. I'd appreciate it for sure, but we take a relaxed attitude around here. So just come on back next time you need a break. All right, I've got thanks to give for my Patreon supporters: Robin Moore, Zubin Lutfala, Tarak, The Thing That Goes Doink in the Anime, Oliver B., Linda Walters, Emu Delki, Leotha Boyd, TT, Fernobulax the Poodle, Zach, Eidolon, Tracy Scrabbit, Angry Casperl, Toku BL Huvian, Adam RDL Taylor, Shane Ross, Shayla Gourlay, and Brendan LaRose. The Rats and I thank you.